It is Thursday, October 21st, 2021, 2 p.m. This special meeting of the Board of Commissioners is called to order. City Clerk, will you call the roll?
Mayor Hendricks.
Here.
Vice Mayor Price.
Here.
Commissioner Hodges.
Here.
Commissioner Andrews.
Sorry, here.
Commissioner Hudson.
Here.
First is public comment, and I don't see any public here other than you folks that are always here. If y'all want to make any public comments, come on. Okay. First is ratification of an emergency purchase of the fire rescue boat. Chief Belk, since Mr. Daniels is not here today, will you come up and we've all been filled in. This is really a formality, but
yeah, it was the same boat that we spoke about the commission meeting last week. We've moved along with it. We're just waiting for a quote on the updated shipping cost to get it from Connecticut down here. I looked into driving up and picking it up, driving back, flying up, renting a truck, driving it back, and honestly, shipping is the cheapest way. I'm sure it is. Yeah, so that's all we're really waiting on. Okay. Mm-hmm. So they're still holding it for us then? Yep. Yeah. Okay. With that, I told them that I had tentative approval from the board, and that was good enough for them. Okay. Good.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just wanted to ask on the boat, is there any other type of affiliation with the boat with the city? Do we have anything else going with the fire department with the boat?
In regards to?
As far as
like public works, or could be able to use it, or
it has to do on the water. Oh,
absolutely. Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could definitely do that. Megan and I actually talked about that previously, using that to assess the seawalls. You know, if a call comes out, Public Works is coming with us.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the boat?
Warrant? Yeah, it's a 21-foot Zodiac. It's the rigid hull inflatable boat. The good thing is the hull itself, the inside of it is fiberglass, carbon fiber, plastic. But when the tubes go bad, you can just replace the tubes. So that's a plus for us. It's going to sit out here in the sun. It comes with a 150 horsepower Mercury motor. Let me think what else. It's T-top. It's pretty much ready to go. All we have to do is get the electronics package from the county, and I have a meeting with them on November 3rd for them to approve the funding. Okay, and get the lift readjusted and all that kind of stuff. And warranty on it? Yes. The warranty on the motor is 3 years. Actually, it's 2 years because they consider this commercial use. So the motor warranty is 2 years, and the boat itself is 5. Okay, good. Yeah, I've already put a policy out. I have 2 boat operators per shift that as soon as it gets here, even before we can put it in service, we're already going to start training on it and get everybody up to speed. Okay. I'll take it for a spin. Can you ski behind it? I plan on it too.
I think you could ski behind that.
I'm sure. Any other discussion?
No.
Do I have a motion to pass?
I'll make the motion to pass the emergency purchase of the fire rescue boat for the city of Madeira Beach.
I'll second.
City Clerk, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Hodges.
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews.
Here. Yes.
Commissioner Hudson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Price.
Yes.
Mayor Hendricks.
Yes.
The motion carried 5-0.
Good deal. Next is selection of city manager applicants to interview for the city manager's position and schedule dates for interviewing candidates, special meetings for selections, and deciding on a final candidate for the city. City clerk gave us a checklist, much like we had the last time around. Is there any input on what we should cut this down to initially?
I just wanted to verify something. I noticed there were some names in the book that I have of people who've already applied, and I'm assuming that it's still okay to go ahead and consider them for the position, even though they've already applied. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
You mean from the first round?
Yeah.
Oh,
Which ones were those? Do you,
Number 8, I believe, was one of them, and I thought number 3 was another.
okay.
And also, Helsinger too.
Which one was it? Yeah.
Is it
Oh, was he? Oh, okay.
Healthburger? Yeah.
Elfingberger?
Yeah.
oh, yeah, it's on the list. Oh, I thought you
Okay.
wanted to add, bring people over from the last. Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, and another question, if I may. We've got people that this time we asked for a desired salary at the back of this.
So
Some of
sorry.
these people are quite a bit above our 135,000. How do we use that? If somebody's asking for 175,000, we just automatically decide he's probably not going to be an option and don't waste one of our votes for them? Or do you think that we're going to talk some of these people down?
Well, you can ask anything you want. I took that into consideration along with their qualifications. Some were just too high to consider. And I just, for my list, I scratched them if they were way up there.
Okay, I did that too, and I'm not sure if that was the right.
That's what I did. I'm sure different people have different views on what they want to do, and we're going to do a checklist, and then there may be some in there that are way high, and we'll just have to cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay.
So are you saying we didn't put our salary in the, because I took that as a wish, and that would be something we could negotiate.
Exactly.
I'm assuming we put, I don't know what it is, 145 or something?
As I think it said, what are your salary expectations?
No, I mean, in our ad.
That's what I'm talking about.
We didn't put the amount?
I don't think it was.
Okay. I thought we were a little miffed that it wasn't in the last one.
But a lot of these have that in there as far as what they're asking.
Okay. Well, I didn't look at it like that, so I don't know if I need 5 minutes to go through this again.
Yeah.
Did everyone rank them 1 through whatever, or did you just pick out?
I didn't rank them.
Okay.
I just picked, I've got 6 on here that I've marked that I think should carry forward.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I got a quick question. First of all, this is a difficult process, but it's very, very important that we do it and we walk through it. But it's also very difficult for 5 people to decide where they want to go to dinner, much less sit here and try to pick out the right person, right, or the right individual to basically be our CEO and have basically the most important decision we make ever, right, when we're sitting up here, because this is the person we're entrusting our city to. So my question to you all is, because I certainly, and I respect the heck out of all of you. I mean, this is a much different board than the first one I sat on, and a lot of respect is up here, and I've been on the wrong side of 3-2 votes, 1-4 votes. Heck, I even made a motion one time and had a matzo ball and nobody even seconded it, right? But it didn't affect me one bit because, you know what, I think I like what everybody's doing. As a board, we've made some vast and just monumental decisions in our charter officers. But I guess the question lies, to try to get us closer to the promised land here, what are really the characteristics that everybody's looking for? I mean, I could list mine probably in the palm of my hand. I think I know what I'm looking for, okay? And I am also of the belief that I don't think we should rush. If we get to the end of this and it doesn't happen again, well, there's nothing to be ashamed of. We're looking for somebody to run this city, hopefully, for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Although, if you look at some of these resumes and you see these experienced city managers, I think the longest tenured of any of them is 5 to 7 years. I mean, that's about the most. But it does happen, and I think that's what we should look for. So, my qualifications are very simple. I want somebody with an educational background to be able to do it. I want somebody that has local knowledge. I want a leader. I think we've been lacking that going back 3 city managers. It doesn't form cliques, doesn't form anything, just leads from experience and leads from above, but isn't afraid to get their hands dirty. But I think those are kind of the big 3 for me. And I don't know if there's anything anybody else wants to add on to that, or if you think that those aren't really that important. I just think that should be an open discussion before we even go through these candidates, so we all kind of have an idea of what the other person's looking for, and I think it'll make it easier for us in the end. And like I said, if at the end we don't come up with any money, I mean, I know Jay doesn't want to hear this, but I think I'm very comfortable with his background. I'm very comfortable with his leadership ability. I'm very comfortable with, and he hasn't even started yet, with the respect that he's already has from the staff. And I've talked to some of the staff members privately, and they're all gung-ho about it. So I'm excited about that, but I want to hit a home run here. I want to hit a home run, so.
I agree with you. We need to do it right and take our time, but I'm not willing to put my rec person in charge of the city for a lengthy period of time. I'm up here tonight today thinking 2 months, 2.5 months maybe, hopefully 1 month. I don't want to take Jay away from his main job that he's so good at. So if we're thinking of this really being prolonged, then I'm going to think about something else.
That's not what I said at all. I didn't say anything about prolonging it. I said if the candidate. No.
Take as long as you need.
Then let me step back and let me re-explain it. I wasn't saying prolong it. I'm saying if we get to the bottom of this, I don't want to just choose somebody just to choose them because we're nervous of having egg on our face again, which I don't think we had the last time. I think we had a fantastic candidate. We just got outbid by somebody. There's no shame in that. But I don't want to make another mistake. We've suffered through enough of this, okay? So let's take our time. Let's find the right person. And if the right person's here, okay, maybe we start again in the beginning of the year and we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's all I brought up. But that wasn't even really the crux of the conversation. It was, let's try to outline the qualities that everybody's looking for, and then maybe we're all looking for the same thing and make it easy on each other.
I have a question also. Can I talk directly to Jay?
Sure.
Okay, Jay, your turn. I have a question for you because I know that we did require that the city manager carry an ICMA. Would you be able to qualify for that program? To get into that program, let's say. Because, see, the city pays for it, I do believe, right?
City can pay for it, yes.
Yes, okay.
We have in the past, so.
Yeah, we probably need to get, go ahead, Jay.
I would assume so. I haven't honestly done the research for long term. Again, I keep hearing the 2 to 3 months, and that sounds awesome for the time being. I mean, I'll explore whatever, needs necessary, but I would assume so. I have taken one class through them back when Mr. Evans was here, but since then I haven't had much involvement with that. So,
right, we do have it in the ordinance that it is required, so that's why I was curious where you stood with it.
Yeah, I'm not adverse to higher education beyond this. So,
pardon me?
I think interim city manager. I don't think we need to have him do that.
I don't know. I wouldn't take any chances on that, but I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jay.
Yep.
Well, yeah, back to the candidates themselves. Why don't we start on Vice Mayor Price's end and just go through what we used as criteria to pick a candidate?
Well, I use different on everybody. I mean, my first thought when I look at these is city manager experience. Then I look at Florida experience. Then, with any luck at all, there's some coastal Florida experience. But those aren't necessary. City manager experience is number one. Number two, I look at their list of accomplishments. And if you're in Colorado and your list of accomplishments are blowing me out of the water with $122 million worth of grants, you get a good mark on that. Colorado doesn't necessarily knock you off. A good manager should be able to go anywhere and manage, in my opinion. Now, is there going to be a learning curve because of the Florida laws are different than Colorado or Wisconsin or all the other states that we have in here? Yeah, but I don't think that's insurmountable to get around. We've got a good attorney that we can converse with, and everything else, and good directors under him. I also make a note whether they're ICMA, obviously. I make a note how much involvement they have locally, whether with charities or, like, one of our candidates talked about how well he worked with all the different counties that he's worked in, and I thought, wow, that's a good one, because we want someone to work well with our county since we get so much funding from them. So it almost depends on the candidate. I look at how big and hopefully they put it in here so I didn't have to look it up. I look at how many people were in the town that they managed. And if they were a county administrator and worked on a county level, I gave them a good mark for that. I want them to be, I looked at their budgets because I was really surprised. There's some really small budgets in here with like 60 employees, and I'm thinking, how did the guy do that, So I want to know. Everybody got a little different. I do plus and minus, write down the pluses and write down the minuses as I go through it. And then at the end, I look at them and go, they can start as soon as possible. They're ICMA, got a master's in public administration. They're stable. They've had just 2 jobs in 16 years and, move on kind of a thing is how I did it. So, everybody's a little bit different. But with no city manager experience, you did not make my cut. That was, I guess, the biggest thing.
Commissioner Hodges?
Oh, I pretty much agree with what Commissioner Andrews and also Commissioner Price said too. But I have to keep in mind also we are a tourist town. We depend a lot on the tourism here in the city to do whatever promotion that we need to do. So my candidate would have to have some kind of experience dealing with the tourism, what they like, also with some kind of work regarding the Gulf of Mexico. To me, that's a very important factor there because the Gulf of Mexico can kick up anything at any time. And you need someone there that knows what's going on so they can follow through with it. As far as being someone who is responsible, of course, I want someone responsible. And I want someone who will get out there and be with the people and be part of what's going on. So basically, other than that, that's all I needed to add.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Andrews, do you have anything extra to add?
Nope, I'm good.
Commissioner Hudson?
I guess the only thing that I haven't already heard was I tried to look at some of the other cities also put their meetings on YouTube, so you could see the people in a meeting and how they acted, and that was just get some feeling for how they present and how they deal with the board.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I looked at a lot of the same things. There were some very high salary expectations that I, for the most part, didn't consider. I went over their resumes to see what else they had to offer for that. I looked at Florida coastal experience in particular, like Vice Mayor Price. If they had no city manager experience, I bypassed them. Education was important, and the ability to get grants. There were a few that actually had done some grant writing, had obtained some grants, so I thought that was important for us. But in particular, I went through and looked at Florida and particularly Florida coastal experience. So, is there any more discussion? There's no public comment on this. If you will, take the checklist. Let's first decide how many we want to narrow it down to. I have 6. Y'all may have some suggestions, but may want to add to that or subtract from it.
I have 6.
I only picked 3.
Actually, I have 6 as well.
Do you? Okay.
I knocked it down to 3.
Okay, well, the majority says 6, so let's knock it down to 6 candidates.
6, okay.
And if you don't want to mark the other 3 candidates, that's up to you. You can leave it.
Let's just do a round and
Yeah.
see if we have
Right.
the same mindset without assigning any
Yeah.
numbers or anything, because,
Yeah, I've just got check marks. I don't think you can
Okay.
really assign a number until we interview them.
So you're saying the ones that have the 3 should go ahead and pick 3 more people then?
You don't have to. If
Okay.
you want to just pick 3, if those are the ones you're comfortable with, just pick the 3, but no more than 6.
want me to start? Even though I'm not going to be up in front on all of this all the time because I didn't do so good the last time.
Yeah, maybe
All right,
maybe
I
we
got-
should pass these down to the city clerk and let her just tally them. And
Yeah,
yeah, that works for me.
but then she'll have to announce anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I can say it. I was just saying, I
Okay.
don't mind it. I don't mind it. This was without considering the salary, and hopefully we figure this out with a phone call, basically saying, hey, our top number is blank. Are you still interested? I don't know. Anyway, in alphabetical order, I've got David Allen, Anthony Carson, Joseph Helfenberger, Andrew Hyatt, Leonard Sosamon, which we've misspelled his name, by the way, on here. Number 11, maybe I ought to do that. And William or Bill Vance, number 13. Those are my 6.
Commissioner Price? I'm sorry.
Yes? Want me to say it again?
Commissioner Hodges?
My
Sorry
turn?
about that. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I only picked 3.
Okay.
And I picked Robin Ignacio Gomez, also Joseph Helfingerberger.
Helfenberger.
Okay, and then the other one is Chandler Fitz Williamson.
Okay. I picked Mr. Helfenberger, Mr. Hyatt, Mr. Mendez, Mr. Sosaman, Mr. Vance, and Mr. Williamson.
Okay, all pretty similar, I've actually.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've got number 5, Ms. Gomez. Number 6, Mr. Helfenberger. Number 7, Andrew Hyatt. Number 11, Mr. Sossaman. Number 13, Bill Vance. And number 15, Chandler Williamson.
Okay, I've got 4. Number 4, Mr. Gorgigan. Number 5.
Oops, wait a minute. Your first one was number 4?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
And then number 5, Mr. Gomez. Number 6, Mr. Hoffenberger. And then number 15, Mr. Williamson.
Okay. So we want to go with the top 6? Is that what we're doing?
Well, let's discuss the top 6,
Okay.
and maybe we get it. So what are the top 6?
First one is Helfenberger.
It looks like number 5, number 6, number 7, number 11, number 13, and number 15 are the top 6. They got 3 votes or more.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you now why I didn't pick number 15. I'm the only one that didn't, if you guys are interested.
Sure.
I mean, I know he's got, because I got the plus and minus list, right? He's got the master's in public administration, he's got 6 years city manager, but in Florida. I didn't see any examples of any leadership accomplishments or grants. I noticed that his one and sole place that he worked here in Florida, we cannot contact that employer, even though he no longer works there. And I think that was it.
Okay.
But to me, I mean, I'm like, we can't contact him? I don't know. I don't care for that. If we can't contact his last employer, the only employer he had where he was a city manager, right? That's the only place he ever worked was in BOC for 6 years, which is in Florida, but it's on a lake.
Looks like 6 years is a long time in Florida.
Ooh, it does, but that's not, I don't know, that's not,
You know,
I just didn't, I wasn't impressed. I don't see anything in here that says what he did. Do you? That was my...
I'll agree. It's kind of a skimpy resume as far as that's concerned, Vice Mayor. As far as where I thought his experience at one place looked good. I think his education's solid. I think as far as his leadership, he was a military guy, so I always count that as being a positive in that direction. Some of his references are senators and the likes of that, so I don't get as concerned about not being able to contact last employer because there's a plethora of reasons why somebody wouldn't want you calling their last boss. He did give other people, he said, can you contact? No, but he gave two people underneath it, the vice mayor or the Commissioner Everett in this case. So I don't know, I guess we could ask him during an interview whether or not it was okay to contact them. Because I'm sure that any city managers left here before there's going to be certain commissioners, they'd say, yeah, please contact, and then there's going to be me. So, you know, I would probably go, that didn't concern me as much as anything else. But, yeah, I kind of liked him, just the overall package. He wasn't if I was ranking him, you know, I'd just kind of like to meet him. I think there's probably something at least to find out.
Well, that was it. That was just glaring to me, so I thought I'd explain it.
Okay.
And he is one of the more expensive people.
Well, yeah, he did. I saw that. Hopefully, at the amount he put down, that's negotiable. Okay. Anyone else want to discuss anyone? Looks like we're pretty much on target with most everyone, actually. Surprisingly so.
It's good.
Yeah.
Let me just, if you don't mind, since I'm on here, I'm going to look up some of these folks I didn't vote for and just ask about them, so I feel better. Oh, another one, this guy, you can't contact any of his past employers. That's number 5. City manager of a city about half the size of Madeira Beach. No Florida, although he's been here and he worked at Clearwater in a completely different capacity. Master's public administration, which is good. But yeah, none of his contacts are in. I don't know.
Yeah, wasn't a selection of mine, so.
Yeah. What did y'all see in there? Hodges, Andrews, and Hudson that made you?
He was kind of my wild card.
Okay.
Just
okay. Yeah.
Because he's young enough and he's, sounds like he wants to get back to Florida and Clearwater. And so we're more likely to be able to keep him for a longer time period. But yes, especially the last place he left, there was a non-disclosure agreement that was signed, so that sounded like a little bit more than just we didn't get along.
Right.
And that made me nervous. And a lot of what he's done seems to be with federal money and things like that. It's a little bit different than what Madeira Beach is like. So that also made me a little bit concerned.
Definitely some glaring holes, and I'll agree with you completely on that. The reason I chose him, I guess it is, I apologize with the name Robin, I kind of got thrown off. I like numbers, people. City auditor for the city of Clearwater obviously probably touched just about every piece of that organization, and they were there for 16 years. So that's pretty impressive to me. Has city manager experience, a couple different places over a 6-year period of time. So, yeah, I mean, I could be talked out of it, but it checked enough boxes for me to at least want to talk to them.
Well, I think that's where the real cutting begins, is to actually have interviews with these people. I don't think we can
Right.
slice them and dice them as much as we want right here, but the bottom line is you don't really know about anyone till you interview them, and even then you kind of keep your fingers crossed. You know, I'm old school, and when I sent out resumes, they said you don't want a resume over 2 pages. Now I look at these, and it's like reading War and Peace. So, anyone else want to discuss anyone? I'm comfortable with the 6 to interview, and then we go from there. But we can talk about these some more if you like.
Hold on. Let's see. Where am I? Okay. Nope, that's good. I guess money knocked my guy out. Nobody like Mr. Carson, huh? Why did I like Mr. Carson? Let me look. I had a lot written down for him.
You should go
questions. Oh, yeah, from Texas. Probably number 1. Lots of experience. Got public and private business experience, master's in public administration, coastal town, retail and commercial contracting experience. Oh, his cover letter impressed me, I think, or under his qualities, under his qualities and his resume, he said, number 1 is customer satisfaction, which I really liked that. 22 million in grants and county experience and ICMA. And he oversaw 300 employees at one point in Illinois. All right. I thought he shined. But if nobody else liked him, then
any other input? City Clerk, will you get with Mr. Lilly?
Yes, sir.
We need to pick a date to start interviews as much as possible in person. Zoom's great, but at least if we narrow these down, we need to bring some people in to talk to them. I'll give you the numbers so it's easier for you to mark down. Number 5, number 6, number 7, number 11, number 13, and number 15. If we can do this one day next week, if they can't come in, I would say Zoom is going to be fine, I think. But we need an hour for each candidate, not 30 minutes. 30 minutes is not enough to to interview. I know this last time around, the train kind of bunched up. So if you will, have Mr. Lilly, and if you like, I'll touch base with him too and try to schedule these every hour. What's a good day? Is there a good day for everyone next?
Mr. Mayor, not to interrupt, sorry. I know Mr. Lilly is on vacation until next Wednesday, I believe.
Okay.
So if you guys are looking for something pretty quick, that's probably going to affect that.
Okay. It may be.
Heck, I'll call him. I'll make a call to everybody to get this going next week. That's not a biggie.
Is that okay,
I've done that a
Mr.
million
Trask?
times.
Okay, all right.
Okay?
Great.
Okay. Yeah. So you telling me what day everyone likes? I'm available Monday, Tuesday,
Well,
Wednesday we have a workshop.
I'm thinking like the 28th. What do y'all think? I mean, we've got stuff going on the 27th. We've got the workshop. I've got Big C meeting.
Okay. 28th would be the first day everybody's available. I'm available. Oh, all right.
you?
29th?
I'm out on the 29th, but I can do it any other day that week.
Okay, I'll just have a long day. That's all. I'll do it on the 27th then. Big C will be about an hour and a half,
But what about the 26th? Is that just too soon, or? I can't call these people and say you've got one day to interview.
I know. And I'm afraid the 26th is too quick. I mean, I've got no problem with it going into like the 3rd, for that matter.
The following week.
Of the following week.
That sounds good.
Let's do it.
Then, we don't need to be jamming this all up to where everybody's scrambling.
I can do the 3rd. All right, so let's get at least 2 days that I can offer these folks, right?
How is the 3rd or the 4th?
3rd and the 4th.
Is that okay with everyone?
Good by me.
Okay. 3rd and the 4th.
It's straight off to the Old Salts captain's meeting.
Oh, right.
Oh, is that?
That's the 4th.
Ooh,
Yeah, boy.
That's all right.
that's okay.
We'll be ready for download.
We'll be ready for the captain's meeting at that point.
That's not till 6:30.
Okay,
All right.
great.
All right. I'll call them and send the clerk the schedule,
Okay.
and we'll try to work it out. Maybe we can do, know if you're going to come in the morning or come in the afternoon or something. I don't know.
Yeah, anytime during that day.
Are we still including the 28th?
Beg your pardon?
Are we still including
No.
the 28th?
No.
Just the November?
We're talking
November 3rd and 4th.
November 3rd, November 4th.
Mark them right now out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we move on, since Vice Mayor Price is doing all this legwork, I would be willing to interview her choice that she just brought up. I just relooked at that, and I missed some things that on Mr. Carson, that if nobody has an objection and we move it to 7, I would have no problem with that if Commissioner Price is that passionate, or I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Price is that
That
passionate
probably
about
sounded
it.
good.
I've got no problem with it if we add one more person to the mix. I don't want to miss anyone if there's something someone has seen that really stands out to them.
Yeah, and if anybody has anything.
You made a very
to add.
compelling case. I think
Okay.
I think I missed something, and I'm looking back over my notes and I see what I did. So
It's hard to read it. Some of these were very long. Note to self, guys.
I am with the mayor on that. One page resumes used to be plenty, and then you get enough qualifications on there, then you sit down and you talk to them, and then you figure out if you like them or not. This is a lot of reading for. One of them was, I'm not going to mention the person's name, but it was all over the place. I mean, the dates were a roller coaster. You're going back and forth, and you're like, going, whoa, it was just a lot. It was like 10 pages, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
no, thanks.
Okay.
Okay. I think we've got that nailed down then. Okay. Next is the contract with Recreation Director Jay Hatch to temporarily sit in as interim city manager until a permanent city manager is hired. I'd like to talk about this a little bit before we get started, unless someone would like to speak ahead of me. I've been rethinking this, and I think we're making a mistake, and I think I made a mistake when I voted not to retain Mr. Daniels for another 30 or 40 days, till we get all of this straightened out. And this is nothing on Jay, but there's a lot going on right now. And I don't think we're doing the right thing for the city not to keep Bob for another 30 days, 40 days, until we get another city manager in here. There's a ton going on at the rec department, and there's a ton going on at the city. And I just, I think we're making a big mistake to do this. The floor is open for discussion.
Well, what's Bob, sorry. What's Bob involved in right now that is, we need to keep him on for? I mean, I know there's things going on. I just didn't know if there was something specific that comes to mind, or if he's got his fingers in something real deep.
There are a multitude of things going on.
Okay.
Just running the city in general, and I think we're going to upend the city if we make this change right now. I don't agree with it.
Mr. Mayor, I couldn't disagree with you any more, and you know I totally respect you, but I think we're putting way too much emphasis on what upend the city. I mean, what do you think is going to happen here? We've got department heads that run their departments. The communication between them and the current city manager is awful. You know, if you've had conversations with any of the department heads, you know that they're actually excited about the change that's coming. This era is past, and now what we're going to do? We're going to drag it on for another 30 days? And we've also seen now that since this announcement's been made, I mean, he's been here every two days out of every week, the current city manager. So he's riding out his sick time, and he's just going to ride this out. I mean, we've made the move. We've made the decision to move forward. What we're now doing is we're just stopping in our tracks, and we're going backwards. And we're going to have another 30 days like we're having right now. Okay? You can't... Yeah. Well, you know, this is when we had this discussion when Mr. Evans gave his 6 months to leave. And I adamantly sat up here and I said, let him go. Okay? Lame duck city managers do not work well. They just don't. And there's nothing, Jay's been here 6 years. There's nothing that Jay doesn't know that Bob knows. Or there's nothing that he can't be filled in on. What a real leader does, he should be teaching the people below. That's what we should have going on right now, is Bob, working with Jay to catch him up to speed on everything so that we can move forward. The minute we do this, we're going to throw a monkey wrench, and I guarantee you, in 30 days, if we don't find somebody, we're going to have this discussion all over again about, oh, well, it's the first of the year. Oh, it's the holidays. We've already had this. We've had this talk already. And like I said, I respect you and I respect your opinion on this, but I think words like upend the city in a short period of time, we're looking for a city manager now. To go back to the old one, I just think we're just going to, you know what the city's been doing for the past 4 years? We've been doing this. We're in a big circle. We haven't moved forward at all. There's still, I've made the recommendation 4 or 5 times up here when people have said that and I've respected their opinions, that they wanted Bob to stay on. I asked for one accomplishment. And it's always, oh, well, there was COVID. Well, guess what? In St. Pete Beach, there was COVID. Their city manager had a $900,000 surplus that he handed to their board. Okay? So there's been nobody that's told me any accomplishment. The biggest accomplishment is we were buying a fireboat, okay, in his tenure. Totally against this. I think it's a really bad move. We need to move forward, and we need to stay on course, because all this is going to do, it's going to muck up the gears. Now city managers are going to, now these candidates are going to come in, and the last one had to sit with Bob for 30 minutes before he even took the job. What do you think went on in that conversation alone? Totally against it.
Anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I had something to say. Of course, I am kind of partial. I do like Bob. I think he's a great guy. No offense, Jay. I think you're great. I think you do a good job. But I still feel like we should give Bob Daniels a little more time. Whether or not he'll take it, I don't know. He might, but then again, he might just come back and say no. But I do feel at this time, we're moving from one step to the next step without anything in between, and that's going to cause a problem. I know, Jay, you needed extra people down at the rec center, right? And so, you're really necessary down there. I really do feel it. And taking you away from the rec center at this time is going to hurt the rec center, and then it'll hurt your job here. That's why I just felt like there was just too much going on at the time to bring someone in from another department. Again, like I said, I know you do a good job. I don't have any offense towards you at that whatsoever. But I do feel that we're jumping from one step to another, and I just think we're cutting ourselves a little bit too short.
Anyone else?
Well, I can say I voted not to continue with Mr. Daniels because I was hoping to get more local applicants, which I think we did. I think we got a couple that are nearby, but not the ones I was hoping for. And that was the whole reason for me was because I was under the impression those people didn't apply because we had Bob on board, not for any other reason, which I can see probably wasn't the case. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to having Bob stay on board if he's got his fingers and everything and the mayor thinks he's required. I don't have a problem with that.
Mr. Hudson, you started to say something.
I guess if we're talking about money that came back, I think Bob Daniels or the people sitting out here had $1 million surplus last year.
Not true.
Well,
okay, maybe not. But if we stay with Jay, we need to have it be able to go 3 months, 4 months, whatever it's going to take. And I'm afraid that's asking a lot. If we keep Bob, then we also need to plan that it lasts until we have a new city manager so that we're not changing again midstream. So whichever one we do, it needs to last until we have a new person.
okay.
have you, I guess, because I haven't, talked to Bob? Is he willing to stay on? Or I don't want to make a big deal of this and us have to change back anyway. He's been pretty accommodating so far. I just didn't know if
He will stay another 30 days.
Well, if my mayor needs him for another 30 days, I'll put forth a motion that we keep Bob Daniels on for 30 more days.
We still don't have a reason to keep him on. He's got his fingers in a lot of things. What has he got his fingers in that we can't replace right now? I still don't understand that portion. Once again,
I think
an accomplishment, hold on,
okay.
excuse me, Vice Mayor Price. You know, I've sat back and I've allowed this all to transpire, and I've allowed the things that have happened in the past, and I've just sat here and I've done my job, and I pointed out the mistakes that have been made. The man made some monumental mistakes, okay, monumental mistakes. And I sit here, and I know most of you personally before I got on this board, and I know that if any of you had a private investigator hired by your employee, okay, there's only two reasons to hire a private investigator, okay? To find some dirt out on somebody. We have cops at work here. He could have just, if this was really a serious issue, he would have given it to the cops. They could have investigated it.
I think there's a motion on the floor.
Wait a minute. You're allowed to talk. Wait a minute. Excuse me, Vice Mayor. You're allowed to speak and I'm not? But,
Point of order.
So finish the motion. I'll talk then.
I don't think.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
I did make a
actually,
motion.
she did make a motion.
I'll second.
City Clerk, will you call the roll?
Public comment.
Vice Mayor Price?
Should we ask for public comment, just in case?
Okay.
Yeah.
Public comment.
Any more discussion amongst the board?
Go ahead, Doug.
Nope. You guys go ahead and do what you want to do. Absolutely
Okay.
ridiculous. Because if it happened to any one of you, I would have backed you 100%. 100%. But you're sitting here pretending it didn't happen. And all the other crap that's gone on, you're pretending it didn't happen.
No, we're
And now
not.
yeah,
We're not at all, Doug.
Excuse me. I am speaking, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate it if you let me finish. Okay? That man has not even been on the job one day, and we're making a decision. Upend the city? I mean, Commissioner Price, Vice Mayor Price, your comments about him earlier, I don't want the rectorate. Where do you think these people come from? They start out at a certain job, and then they graduate up to where they're going to go to. I'm completely disgusted. Go ahead and vote.
Okay. City Clerk, will you call the roll?
Yes. Vice Mayor Price?
Yes.
Commissioner Hudson?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges?
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews?
Yes.
Mayor Hendricks?
Yes.
The motion carries 5-0.
So at this time, there will not be a contract between Director Hatch and the city for the city manager's interim position. Next is purchase of a Vector tractor or trailer-mounted high-pressure jetting unit for Public Works. Director Wepfer.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this is to help with the maintenance of the stormwater drains. Previously, we've always contracted the service out with either Treasure Island or through another vendor. It can be very costly. It also then has to be scheduled, which then can be interrupted by tides, storms, whatever the case may be. This was in the budget for '22, and I contacted the vendor, and he was able to give me the previous Florida Sheriff's Association bid, which was $10,000 less. So that's why it's before you today.
Okay.
Anybody have questions?
Is this one of the things we trade for Treasure Island for them to use our street cleaner or whatever?
Treasure Island has a massive VACCON truck, which has a jetter on it. That is for severe needs,
Okay.
such as like our stormwater station that's at 141st and North Bay Shore. When we need to clean that, they will then bring their VACCON out, because our street sweeper has a VACCON, but it's not big enough for that job. So we'll still need them for certain things, but this will, daily needs, if we have a clog in a storm drain, we can then do it ourselves rather than waiting.
Okay, good. Anyone else?
No. Thank you.
Thank you. Any public comment? Is there a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to purchase a Vector trailer for Public Works.
Second.
City Clerk, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Hudson,
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews,
Yes.
Commissioner Hodges,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Price,
Yes.
Mayor Hendricks.
Yes.
The motion carried 5-0.
Having no other business, this meeting is adjourned at 2:56 p.m.